Skull and Bones. It's currently sitting at an average of a 2.9 Metacritic, which means that most people do not like this game. But that doesn't mean everybody hates it, so welcome back to a series that I call Good Reviews for Bad Games. And today we're taking a look at what all 2.9 fans of Skull and Bones have to say about the game. Roll tape. Xerius gives Skull and Bones a 10 out of 10, and they go on to say, it's a fun game to play. It may be a bit arcadey, but it takes all the good parts from Black Flag and it makes it better. And to you, I say, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm not gonna lie, I think this is a Ubisoft employee. You're just making shit up. It takes all the best things from Black Flag and makes it better. First of all, I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and Black Flag was one of my least favorite games in the series. And it mainly has to do with the fact that, like, to me, it was a good pirate game, but it wasn't a good Assassin's Creed game because, like, he never even becomes, like, an assassin in the game. That's beside the point. One of the good things I will say about it is, like I said, it is a good pirate game. One of my favorite aspects of it was that you get to hop on other people's boats, you get to duel them, you get to loot, you get to explore inside the ocean, go whale hunting, fighting sharks. Like, it was a really good pirate game. So for you to say it takes the good parts from Black Flag and makes it better, it makes me think you didn't actually play in the game, because none of that is in Skull and Bones. You're just flat out lying in this review. Also, you said this game is a bit arcadey? A bit arcadey? Like, what are you talking about? In the game, you literally can't even, like, pause it because the wind's always blowing. So if you take your hand off the controller or the mouse and keyboard, your boat will keep going. I'm floating away. Oh my God, can't pause the game. So if the wind's blowing left, your boat's gonna keep tilting left. Like, it has real physics in it. So for you to say it's like arcadey, like, I don't think you play the game. I think this is a Ubisoft employee just making shit up, bruh. Scrolling down a little bit further, YRXIM gives Skull and Bones a 9 out of 10, and he says, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, not Black Flag, flak, like a flak jacket, had better combat, and it ran at the same engine a lot of years ago. So if you think that Black Flag was a better game, why did you give it a 9 out of 10? I think you meant to leave a negative review and you accidentally headbutt your keyboard and you ended up typing something positive. You typed something a positive score, but then gave it a negative review. This has got to be AI. I don't know. Calamath gave Skull and Bones an 8 out of 10, and they say, this game isn't for everyone, but I'm enjoying it. I respect that. I feel like it's more suited to a particular kind of casual gamer looking for a game to chill out with and indulge their inner buccaneer, and not someone looking for non-stop type shooter action. I gotta disagree with that. You saying it's more for like casual gamers is BS to me, because for those you where in the game, and this is what actually made me uninstall this game. For those unaware, the main gameplay loop is you basically just sail around the seas looking for materials to upgrade your boat, and then you go fight other boats. There's no other actual pirate aspects of the game. The problem with the looting system in this game is, first and foremost, you can't even park your boat. You can't dock your boat and go on the island. You should have been able to go on the islands and actually loot, and then you would run into like rebel camps, like trying to protect their loot and stuff like that, almost like Assassin's Creed. That should have been in the game, but you can't. Instead, what happens is you stop your boat wherever it says there's loot on the map, and then like a little mini game, like an active reload mini game where you have to land it in the middle and get green. And if you get the green, you collect more trees or whatever the fuck you're trying to. It's so fucking boring. Apparently, a pirate can cut a tree while they're inside the boat. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, the reason I say that that's not casual and what made me quit the game is the game does not explain this to you. This is a horrible mechanic, okay? What makes this not casual is all throughout the map, it'll tell you where all the different loot is. You go to that place, right? And then it's not there. So then I went to another place on the map where it said there's loot. It's not there. I went to 3 different spots where it said there's loot, and it wasn't there. You know what the problem was? And the chat had to explain to me. The game does not explain to you that just because the loot shows up on the map doesn't mean it's there, because it's a shared universe. If somebody else looted it, it's not gonna be there. The issue is, not only does the map not update and let you know the loot isn't there, there's not even like a cooldown clock to let you know that the loot is coming back. So what happens is you're just aimlessly sailing around the ocean, hoping you find the materials to upgrade your boat. Now, what did I say earlier? The main gameplay loop is just finding loot and upgrading your boat so then you can go fight other boats, because there's nothing else to do when you're on land. It's just vendors. It's basically a job. Imagine working a 9 to 5, right? And then you get on the game, you're tired, you just want to have some fun, being a pirate, singing shanties, fighting, doing other shit, right? You can't even swim in this game. And freaking, you have to do another job, the job to hunt down the loot. Like, at the end of the day, the most important thing I think people got to understand, these game developers, is the game has to be fun. A lot of times gamers say they want a realistic experience, but I hate to break it to you, most of you do not want a realistic experience. What you want is an authentic experience. The difference between realistic and authentic, at least in my opinion, is that an authentic experience is where it feels just just real enough, but it also matches that kind of arcadey, somewhere in the middle where it's just real enough, but it's still a video game. Realistic to me is like, I always use Armored 3 as an example. That's a realistic shooter. And when it made me stop playing it because it was just too much. I remember when the first time I played Armored 3, I was riding in a helicopter with some friends. Another player shot the helicopter out of the sky. I'm thinking we're gonna hit the ground, it's gonna blow up, I'm gonna respawn. We hit the ground, the helicopter blows up, but I didn't die. Instead, I had a serious leg injury and I'm just lying on the ground staring at the ceiling for like fucking 30 minutes. It was so boring. I think what most people want is an authentic, not a realistic experience, because realistic is boring most of the fucking time. Fuck that shit. Terrod gives Skull and Bones an 8 out of 10 and they go on to say, it's a good game if you play it for what it is. Ship combat. Go in wanting Black Flag or being upset you can't board ships or just being generally mad because Ubisoft, of course you're gonna have a bad time. I don't need those mechanics to be happy with the game, and I've had a great time leveling up and customizing my ship. The open world is vast enough and quite nice to explore given it's fairly good looking. I think more players would enjoy it if they really stuck around to take over the manufactories and dive into creating and smuggling an empire. Instead, some people play the game for 2 to 6 hours, decide it's repetitive, and then pan it. The intensity comes in late game during events, which are a lot of fun and bring a sense of danger. Don't listen to the current internet hate train and try it for what it is. You might be pleasantly surprised. And I will say, you are entitled to your opinion. Where I disagree is you can't dismiss the hate this game is getting because this game was advertised as a pirate game, and you can't call it a pirate game if they should have called it a ship simulator game, because that's actually what it is. And I think that's where a lot of people are upset because it's false advertising. And then on top of that, to add more insult to injury, Ubisoft CEO has come out and said this is the first quadruple A game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if Assassin's Creed Black Flag was a AAA game that Ubisoft released in, what was it, 2014? That was their big AAA release, right? And then this game is being described as a quadruple A game, which is fucking funny, by the way, because what the fuck does that mean? In theory, this game should have more than the AAA because there's another A. AAA literally means best quality in terms of production, so quadruple means there should be even more than the original release, which was a AAA game. So I'm not saying you can't dislike this game. You can't like the game. You're allowed to like the game. The issue comes into play, and you cannot dismiss this. Ubisoft advertised this as a pirate game, a quadruple A pirate game, and not only is it not quadruple, I'd argue it's not even triple double A. It's just an A game, bruh. That don't even sound right, because then an A implies it's good. This game sucks. I don't know, man. Lolo gives Skull and Bones a 10 out of 10, and they say it's a captivating journey into the world of piracy. The developers have done a fantastic job of immersing players into a rich atmosphere of pirate life. Once again, you're entitled to your opinion, but I completely disagree. They did not immerse players into some rich atmosphere of pirate life. How can you say that when literally the only thing you can do is steer a boat? There's more to being a pirate than that. Also, when you're on foot in the hub world, for those who haven't played, there's no talking NPCs or interesting characters. I take that back. There are people who give you missions, but the missions are like collect loot. But there are no like, you know how like in open world games, there's interesting characters you come across that might give you side quests or like funny dialogue that make the world feel alive. This is not present in the game, so I don't even understand how you can call this an immersive pirate experience. Especially considering the fact that pirates are some of the most interesting people to ever live in human history. They were assholes that robbed people and did what the fuck they wanted. And there's not one person that talks in this game that doesn't give you a mission. Once again, I think this is a fucking Ubisoft employee. Ian gives Skull and Bones a 10 out of 10, and they go on to say, thank you, Ubisoft, for this amazing quadruple A title. I am truly loving it. Mwah. I'm eager to see what this genius mastermind of a company puts out next. And to this review, I say this is why Metacritic needs to take they need to take a page out of Steam or like Amazon, and they need to start verifying people's purchases, because I don't think this review is real. I think this is a fucking troll. Get the fuck out of here. So our next review for Skull and Bones comes from Sammy110, and they gave the game a 10 out of 10. They go on to say, finally something different than first-person shooters or anything else we've already had so far. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I said I'm starting to think some of these these positive reviews that are left on Skull and Bones are Ubisoft employees like generated through AI, because this literally doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you why. This is one sentence and I can break it down into 2 parts why you're just fucking wrong. You said finally something different than first person shooters. All right, let's go into 2023. We're in the year 2024. Let's go into 2023. 2023, we had Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Super Mario Wonder, Hi-Fi Rush, Street Fighter 6, Jedi Survivor, Alan Wake 2, Diablo 4, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, Pikmin 4, Armored Core 6. We had the Dead Space remake, Resident Evil 4, Cocoon. I don't care about that game. The Cyberpunk DLC. Dave the Diver. You don't really care about this game. This one either. You get the fucking point. All those games I just listed are not first-person shooters. So either this is an AI-generated review by Ubisoft employees, or you're a fucking fraud that doesn't play games, because that was just 2023. If you want to take it to 2024, Final Fantasy Rebirth is about to come out in a couple weeks. You got Dragon's Dogma 2, The Prince of Persia Lost Crown just came out, it's fire. Avowed is coming out. Tekken 8 just came out, fire. Princess Peach Showtime, I ain't playing that shit, but somebody is. It's fucking fire. Shit, Suicide Squad. The game's good, but it's not a first-person shooter. You got Rise of Ronin. That shit looks fire. It's not a first-person shooter. You could go down to those Helldivers 2, Black Myth Wukong, Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Talking about finally some shit that ain't a first-person shooter. You're a fucking fraud. You don't play games, or this shit is AI generated, or anything else we've had so far. I mean, it all plays into what I just said. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Fraud. Oliver gave Skull and Bones a 10 out of 10, and they go on to say, interesting, Ubisoft. Quite innovative in my opinion. Maybe a mobile version with microtransactions would be great for this concept. And I can't tell whether or not they're trolling. They could be serious. If you're serious, fuck you. The fuck are you talking about? But I think you're trolling. I think you're trolling. This one right here though, and the one right below it, Gamer Gunk, he gave it a 10 out of 10. And he said, wow, very great game. Stamina on ships was a very great idea that Ubisoft had. Very nice. He's definitely trolling, because for those of you unaware, there is stamina on the ships. In a game where you can barely do anything, I don't know why they put stamina on a ship. No clever commentary, just why is there stamina on a ship that's driven by the wind? 10 years in the making, guys. So here I am midway recording this video, and I just discovered that there are reviews posted for Skull and Bones on Google. I don't know if this is a new feature or not, but it allows people to post their reviews on Google. This is pretty cool. So we're gonna filter through and find the positive ones, 5 stars, baby, and let's see what kind of fun we can get into. FB gave Skull and Bones 5 out of 5, and they go on to say, I'm gonna give it a 5 because I don't believe it deserves such a low rating. Don't get me wrong. This game is not exceptional. The gameplay is not innovative at all. You're really selling this game. We already had Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then Sea of Thieves. And if you want to push the comparison to the limit, Windward is exactly the same game as Skull and Bones, but a top-down view. Once again, you're really selling this game. So yeah, not innovative at all. It brings nothing new to the genre that another game hasn't done before. The game overall works great with no lag, and I still have to find bugs. Wait, and I still have to find bugs, what? The grinding is fun, and you at least have something to accomplish, so you always feel busy. People play games for fun, not working a job. PvP is mandatory, which is perfect to me. The only real downside to this game is the price. As I said, other games do the same as Skull and Bones. I bought Windward $3 years ago. Are you trying to say 3 years ago? For almost the same gameplay. So all I can say is Skull and Bones works great, and I had a lot of fun. Just wait for the 50% off or more before buying, and then it'll feel more fair to your wallet. Or pay $20 on Ubisoft Plus for a month and then finish the game by the time and then move on and play something else. I'm not gonna lie, this might be one of the worst reviews I've ever read. You gave the game a perfect score, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, and the gist of your argument is this game's not innovative, it's barely fun, it's not original, and it's comparable to a $3 game that you bought in the past. Also, you said, and you should wait till it's 50% off, but 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. If you have to say in your review, wait till it's 50% off, it's not a 10 out of 10. Shut the fuck up, bro. Get the fuck out of here. This is why it's important. Don't just look at the 5 stars. Look at what they wrote. This is an insane review. There's no way they typed this out and they said, yeah. And it's, you know what's worse? 2 people found this helpful. You people are crazy. You're crazy. I'm sorry. So our next 5 out of 5 comes from Anthony, and he goes on to say, the clowns... Okay, let me get it together. The clowns commenting poorly on the game are noobs in regards to gaming and life. So basically he's saying that your opinion on the game doesn't matter because you suck at every fucking game, even though he doesn't know everybody on Earth. Apparently we all just suck at the game. They played for like 10 minutes, then went on and sat and spun elsewhere. The game's got great controls, large map, and plenty to do, as this is a beta, you dumb motherfuckers. This is posted 6 days ago, so I guess this is in reference to the beta, not the full game. Anyway, as far as finished, which by the way, it wasn't a beta, it was the full game. This is a review of the full game anyways. You can't have a beta a week before the game comes out. As far as finished games go, this is 75% better than any other garbage you're gonna get from Blizzard, Microsoft, Amazon Web Service. What? The only thing acronym I've ever seen AWS for is Amazon Web Service. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? Amazon Web Service is just like their cloud service where like a lot of websites host their data. It's just a big ass. What? They aren't ramming what? They are ramming microtransactions down your throat. It's a solid start. I'm stoked for the 16th on the full release. I mean, and 13 people, you people are crazy. 13 people found this helpful. This man said Ubisoft games aren't full of microtransactions. You're crazy. You're fucking crazy. And then you compared it to Amazon Web Services, man. Thank you for that laugh, Anthony. Thank you. Oh my God. Our next review is a 5 out of 5 that comes from Luke Littleton, who goes on to say, listen, people, you can put your own honest opinions on reviews like 1 to 3 stars, but this game is a 5-star game. The people who don't know how to work for their supplies, go play a different game. This is a game for patient, experienced gamers. This game is something else. And for people to already give a review when barely beginning to play the game, they are people who are lazy and don't know how to work for themselves to get hard-earned rewards. So honestly, if you're gonna have a bad opinion about a game you have barely played, you can go fuck yourself. You know what's funny? I can make the counter argument to that. I can break this down multiple, but the counter argument to that is, well, this was a day ago. You barely played the game as well, and you're giving it a positive review. How is your opinion more warranted than the other person if you both have the same amount of play time? Also, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the most Republican ass reviews I've ever heard. Did you play the game to have fun or to work? This motherfucker is really, you probably got Farming Simulator in your fucking Steam. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, this man, you don't want to work hard in your video games? What the fuck is this right-wing ass talking point? Are you here to play a game and have fun or work? Shut the fuck up, bro. I mean, you're allowed to have your opinion, but I'm not gonna lie, shut the fuck up, bro. Johan gave Skull and Bones a 5 out of 5, and they go on to say, they can trash this game all they want. The proof is in the pudding. IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. And some others even gave it an 8. Game critics gave it a 6. Go Home to Mommy and some other ones a 4 out of 10. You mad? You need to do you need to do ballet rather, okay? Huh? You need to do ballet rather, okay? Was that a joke? If you don't agree with my opinion, you need to do ballet. What's the punchline on that? I don't understand. And he wrote LOL. If you had to write LOL, your joke's not funny. But anyway, I'm not even gonna read the rest of this dumb shit because this first sentence, first of all, this sentence structure is awful. Second, this review is fucking awful too. Your opening argument is you guys are all wrong because IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. This, you know what's funny? I talked about this on stream one time. The gaming community is so funny because, and I can use IGN and GameSpot as like an example. Y'all love to hate IGN until IGN's argument matches your own. Then there's some type of god with some amazing opinions. You mean the same IGN that you guys clown for giving Pokemon a 7 out of 10 for too much water? Now you respect their opinion because it matches yours when it comes to fucking this pirate game, Skull and Bones. At the end of the day, IGN is just an opinion like everybody else's. But in all honesty, I don't believe y'all respect their opinion as much as you're trying to portray in this fucking review, because y'all love to prop them up when it matches your fucking agenda. You having a bias and you're allowed to like the game, but this is such a bullshit ass argument. IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. You mean the same IGN that sat and shat on fucking Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for a month straight? And don't get me wrong, I fucking hated the ending to that game. That game was mid. It was very mid. It wasn't particularly great. But the same IGN that is supposed to be a reputable professional company that sat there and shat on that game. Like, me personally, I don't believe in kicking things when they're down. How they covered that game was so unprofessional. And honestly, it was because they were butthurt they didn't get a fucking review code. Have you ever seen IGN do this before? I've never seen them drop so many negative videos about one particular game. They were picking on that game, and to me that shit is corny because the game, it's already been reported that the game is at like 1,000 concurrent players or some shit like that. So you talking about that IGN? To me, because this shit is not a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. It looks like the review code from Ubisoft came through for IGN. Once again, this argument's fucking bullshit. You start your argument off with IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. What do you think of the game? What do you think? I gave it a 7 out of 10. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Gamers are funny to me. You guys are fucking funny. And there you have it. That's what some of the fans of Skull and Bones had to say about the game. Now, I doubt you give a fuck, so do me a favor. Click the card you see on the screen right here, and that'll take you to a video explaining why I uninstalled Skull and Bones. Spoiler, the shit's trash.